I grew up in the United States of America in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. I'm still growing up. So we didn't have Warhammer like you guys in England have Warhammer. I guess we did, but it wasn't popular like it is over there. Not at all. I mean, I didn't hear about or know anything about Warhammer until I was in my 20s. I knew about the Goblins of Dungeons and Dragons, but also being from the United States in the 80s and from a Christian household, and the environment that I was raised in, the satanic panic was in full effect. And my parents were terrified of things like fantasy creatures, so they were banned in my house. But movies were allowed, and we watched Labyrinth. Not the Labyrinth. That's not a movie. You won't find that movie. It's called Labyrinth, and it's by Jim Henson and Brian Froud and a few other people. And I thought it was a terrible movie until the very end, when the Goblin City erupts into violence and puppets with shiny, spiky armor and weapons are in a battle. And I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I would rewind it over and over. My brother and I would rent this movie, Labyrinth, probably once every summer at least, for the little adventure movie. And David Bowie in his stupid pants, in his stupid songs. Dance, magic, dance. Dude, not the best part of the movie. It's a great part. I like it better now that I'm older, more accepting of silly things like that. But what I loved as a kid was the puppets. Being from the 80s, you gotta love a good puppet. And I think this movie has the best puppets. Most people love the Dark Crystal. I think it's cool. It's dreamy and enchanting and cute, and it's wonderful. But this Labyrinth film was way better, in my opinion, because it contained goblins. Lots of goblins. All different kind of goblins. No two goblins are alike in this movie. That's what I love about it. And growing up, I found this book. I don't remember what year this book came out. I don't know when I got this or what year this edition of the book came out, but I think shortly after the movie, they put out this book of Brian Froud drawings and captured and cataloged by Teddy Jones, who I believe, no, I don't believe, it's a fact, he was a writer for Monty Python and several other great things in his career. But when I think of Labyrinth, I don't so much think of the movie because of this book. I think of this book and its perfection, except for ink that's on the pages. But every page almost contains some beautiful illustration by Brian Froud of his goblins of Labyrinth. Look at these things. Look at these faces. And they're all kind of, I guess ink and watercolor at the most. I mean, there's a few big, beautiful, but these look like, and most people have seen these. I'm not showing you some, hidden gem. This is a popular book, and sometimes if you just Google goblins, you'll end up seeing something in the image search from this book. Look at that. Turnips. Some kind of root vegetables. Just the coolest stuff. And most of these became full-size puppets. Or, small-size puppets. Look at this dude. What? How's this guy come up with these characters? Brilliant. every one of them. I love every one of these things. And with most of the Goblin drawings by Brian Froud, this is over here you find the stories and the background and lore and fluffiness of this, you know, the city of goblins. See what I mean? I mean, most of it's simple watercolor, then you get to stuff like this. Come on, dude. This is imagery that's burned into my brain, along with the beautiful face of Jennifer Connelly. As a kid, it might have been the first girl I actually fell in love with and tasted depression when I realized she's a movie person and you can't just meet, I ain't gonna meet her. But I'm friends with these goblins. Look at these things. And as a miniature sculptor, it's hard not to look at each one of these and think, that right there needs to be a miniature. Almost everyone, in my opinion, every one of them should be sculpted. But they don't make them. There's a few. There's a board game, River Horse Games, I think. I should know. I used to know, but it's been a while since I looked into it. There are miniatures. You can get a few of these goblins for board games and stuff. I think Johnny Fraser Allen sculpted them, and they're great. But I wanted to sculpt these. I want them. I want to make them, you know? And so I did. I've made a few of these. I've picked out, you know, a handful. Look at these dudes. That's one of them. That's one of the ones I'm making. Him too. They're just awesome. So I want to show you the ones that I make as I make them. Alright? I don't know if I should show you one at a time. Maybe I should just kind of intro the idea here on my old YouTube channel. Come on, dude. I wonder if it might have taken him 20 minutes to make this, to draw this. It might have taken longer, I don't know. I don't know anything about watercolor, ink drawing. But you could tell how this would influence artists in movies and video games and role-playing games, miniatures games. Higher and lower, I guess. Higher, it's higher, lower. Iconic. So cool. Ugly. And beautiful at the same time. Look at this dude. That's the ceremonial fish stick. Alright. So you get an idea of this book in this world. And I'm going to show you my sculptures from it. Alright, so what I decided I'll do is introduce you to these one at a time. I'll show you the book picture up close and nice. Hopefully it's clear. It's kind of a glare. These are some pretty glossy pages. But you got Pilch here. It's a pretty interesting goblin. He starts out as like a tadpole, and then he gets, most of them get eaten by the bigger fish, the badder fish they're called. Once in a while, one of them survives and gets the name Pilch. And it says at the end here, Pilch are the most boring table companions it is ever possible to meet. So there's tons of little stories and things about these guys that they're pretty funny. So here is the book guy, and here is the miniature sculpture. Hope this comes through, dude. Alright. Let's try something here. There we go. That's a little better up close. So there's my interpretation of the first goblin. It's pretty close. I should have made him a little more hunchbacked, I guess, but I was pretty happy with it. I decided to keep making more of these little dudes. All right, so that's Pilch, boring table companion. So here we have goblin number 2. Now look at this disgusting, nasty thing. Now, here's something interesting. This is maybe, now it's like a trivia thing. If any of you know, Nurgle made its first appearance when? Because this drawing is clearly the invention, the mark of Nurgle with bugs and everything. And this book came out in '86. The movie came out in '85, or it was filmed in '85. So if this was a post-production piece of concept art, that's potentially 1984, maybe '83 even. I don't know. You tell me, does this predate the mark of Nurgle? There's my miniature of him. I did miss a few details on some of these, like his little nose thing. I got him on a magnet here, so you don't have to see my disgusting fingers anymore. But there's Stench, the great cook's assistant. Let me try to zoom again here. Oh, come on, dude. I thought I was good. What is this? 2010? Focus, dude. I'm learning to YouTube again. Pretty sickly looking, dude. I gave him too much of a chin. But if you look at these pieces of art compared to the ones that made it as puppets or costumes, they're not exact either. So you do what you can do. Puppet number 2. And here we have Weech, the great cook. Puppet number 2, well, miniature. I called the last one a puppet too. They are puppets. Oh. Whoa, almost dropped it. There he goes. She is sculpted just like the rest of them. What is going on? Just focus, dude. You're an iPhone. Sculpted with green stuff and milliput. The best mix for sculpting miniature figures. She's beautiful. Got some ingredients. Got a ladle. All wacky with it. A little bow on top. I'll be painting this one soon. So each one of them gets its own little base. Really simple. I didn't want to go crazy. No, we're not doing no grass tufts. This here is the next goblin character called Pongo. I don't know very much about this one, but he's cool. Here's the miniature. Pretty cool. Couldn't tell what the spear was doing. That's what I kind of like about this little project, is that's all I get for what's going on. So I made it like this, like a, what is that called? Is that a bill? Is that a bill hook? I don't know. Just a brass rod that I hammered into shape and filed into shape, and then sculpted on the rivets and further details. And the shield I just sculpted separately. Don't lose focus, dude. There we go. And yeah, you just kind of have to make up, you have to interpret what you see. I love this one. He's cool. Pongo. This is Beck and Call. Work in progress. This one's particularly tough because I've had to sculpt them separate and then attach them. And it takes careful kind of planning and looking ahead where things are going, what you're going to need to do first. And that just comes with doing a lot of sculptures. You'll learn, I'm going to need to get to that, you know, before I stick that on that, I guess, if you catch my drift. So that's how they are. That's how they start. They're sculpted on brass wire for most of the armatures. And green stuff and milliput, the best mixture for making stuff like this. There might be a better one. I don't care. I got my pick. So that's all in that right there for today. And there's still a bunch to show you, to talk about. And I hope this inspires you to pick up your sculpting tools and your putties, smash them all together and make things that you want to paint. That's what I like to do. So the next video, I'll show you the next batch of painted ones and unpainted ones, and I'll show you another work in progress. And that'll keep me going on this. Tell me what you think. I love comments. I've always loved getting comments from you guys. But if nobody comments, I still think it's cool to just, you know, post this for just for my own satisfaction, knowing it's there and that I've shared it, and I don't just hide away these cool things that I make, because I know people would want to see this, because there's people out there kind of doing the same thing, making their own miniatures. All right, so if you like doing that, keep checking out my videos that I post. Until next time, goodbye.